iPad, and I use a program, I guess it's called Clourth-Louis, which is, if you look around this room, we don't have a blackboard. So I needed a whiteboard program. So by going to the Friday Technology seminars, I found about a whiteboard called Clourth-Louis. It's a plug-in, and use it on. I've only had to use it on my laptop. I've only used it from the iPad, and I like it because it has a music staff built in on it. So it already has a music staff template. So not having the blackboard, which I would prefer, you know, because I'm just used to getting up, going to the blackboard and writing and erasing. I've had to kind of learn how to use the last whiteboard here. We're dealing now, you know, take a stylus. So, and these are notes, what I was actually going to do today. They have some worksheets that I've passed out. We're going to go over them. Come on up, grab a seat in the front, Mike. You all right? And we were just going, what I was going to do today is just go to a new page and put some examples up. See, whatever, erase. Whatever I write over here on the iPad comes up on the board. Now, I'm not an artist, so it doesn't come up, you know, real neat all the time, you know. But whatever I can put on here, it just comes up. So that's basically my blackboard, what we call it the whiteboard. And we used the Apple TV. I installed Apple TV and just kind of velcroed it behind the big screen over there. So what I do, I write in notes, and since we were working on intervals, and what is an interval? The distance.
The distance between two pitches.
Distance between two pitches.
Vertical asymptote. If it cannot factor, then you will have no vertical asymptote. This morning we are going to discuss horizontal asymptote. Alright. Once again, there's this big long drawn out definition in the book about horizontal asymptote. What I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you horizontal asymptote by doing examples. Okay? Let's go. A. We have f of x is equal to 4x over 2x squared plus 1. Alright, with doing horizontal asymptotes, you have to look at the degrees of the numerator and the degrees of the denominator. So what's the degree of the numerator? 1. What's the numerator of the denominator? 2. Okay, when doing horizontal, you're looking at the degrees. Because the denominator degree is larger than the numerator, my horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. Because the degree in the denominator is larger than the degree in the numerator, your horizontal asymptote is equal to 0. Y'all want me to say it again? Yeah. All right. Because okay, what is a degree? The exponent. That's another name for exponent. Okay? Because the exponent in the denominator is larger than the exponent in the numerator, you have y equals 0. All right, let's do B.
En que está viviendo ahorita en Honduras, que no, a veces no tenemos una libertad, ¿no? Que a veces nos tienen sumergidos los gobiernos. Entonces por eso yo Vamos a cantar esta canción enfrentando a Honduras.
Okay. He's presenting about his country, Honduras, and what he just said was just the summarization of what I was telling you about what's going on in Honduras with their government.
Muy bien.
En el centro de América un pueblo se rebeló, porque marcó la senda, hizo la revolución, ahora lo quieren callar.
What technology did I use this year in my classroom? This year I used Clourth-Louis, I used Top Hat, I used Air Media, I used Apple TV, and I used Instagram. When I used Apple TV and Air Media, it allowed me to come from behind the podium and interact with the students more. I was able to walk around the classroom, see students' eyes and how they were grasping concepts that were taught. When I used Clourth-Louis and Top Hat, it allowed me to gauge the students' understanding right then and there and correct it in response to a concept that they did not understand before moving forward to the next one. When I used Instagram, I think that was the most interesting one this year because the students were doing the concept of photosynthesis and they had to do the dark reaction and the light reaction. Well, one part they took a photo with the flash and then the other part they took a photo without the flash and allowed them to see the difference between the light reaction and the dark reaction. The students enjoyed the use of technology. When I did not use technology, they wanted me to use it more. So they love to be engaged. They like the games that we played, how the concepts were brought to them, the quizzes that were given, especially if we're using Top Hat or Clourth-Louis. Top Hat also was useful in me taking roll because in my classes they're usually large. So if I had a class of 60 people, it was easy to take a roll with Top Hat. So the students responded good to technology. They liked it. I'm going to use it more next year. I just wish when it comes to my lab classes, I could have more technology for the lab classes. Right now, our lab classes are not equipped for technology, but hopefully we can slowly get them technology friendly so that may be used for next year. Tech Fridays, I thought were very useful, especially for those faculty who are not technology savvy. It allowed them to see that technology can be your friend. It also helped them go step by step if we were dealing with Blackboard so they could be more friendly with Blackboard and use it more often. For those of us like me who are geeks, technology geeks, and always looking for new technology to use, it introduced us to technology that we didn't know of. I will be using some more of the technology that I learned about probably next year because I'm going to integrate more technology into my classrooms next year, and during the summer I'm going to take my time to learn about some new technologies that I did not know about so I can bring it into my classroom next year, and might even start with it this summer in my classroom this summer. So keep up the good work. Tech Fridays is working. Let's make Southern technology friendly.